Guys, welcome and welcome back again to my channel. Hey people, I think I should wait a little bit for you guys to come on in. Welcome guys. How are you guys doing? I want to check if we're live. Welcome guys. Welcome back again to my channel. Hey guys, as you come in, please like the video. As you come in, like the video, guys, before you forget. We are going to have a story time today. That's what we're talking about. I just want to check our sound, if the sound is okay. So come on in guys. As you come in, give this video a big thumbs up. It is very important, guys. Welcome back again. Welcome back again, guys. So guys, as you come in, give this video a big thumbs up and let's get right into it. I just checked the sound now and the sound is okay, so we are good to go. Very much good to go. Hey beautiful people, it's me, your girl Fosti Onye, and you're welcome back to my channel. Guys, I don't know if you noticed something. The name of the channel changed, and we're just making it much simpler for people to catch up. Just for stick, simple and easy to pronounce. So as you come on in guys, please do well to give this video a big thumbs up. Now today's story is gonna be a story. I'm gonna show you my screen, and we're gonna talk about it a little bit. So this story, I actually saw it on social media, and this girl's name is Lorraine, and she shared her story of her dinner date or that went sour. How would you feel you went maybe on a dinner date, or maybe you went for a birthday party, or you just went out to hang out, and then you find out that you're waking up in an unknown place, an unknown bed, with somebody you don't even know, a total stranger. And when you look at yourself and inspect your body, you find out that you have been touched and you don't even have any recollection of what's happened. Guys, that is the story of this Lorraine, and she narrated her ordeal, and I was like, gosh, this story, I need to bring it to the channel so that we can learn from it. Guys, the stories that I bring on here is for educational purposes, for learning purposes. It's not to belittle anybody or just to make light or make a joke of anybody's story. It's just for us to learn. We may not live long enough to have all the whole experiences in life. So the only way we can learn, it may be through other people's experiences, through stories that will shape us, give us an insight to how the world works. So that is what we're talking about in this video. Guys, as you come in, please give this video a big thumbs up. Clarence, hi, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Please share so that we can get more people, because this story is going to be a banger, guys. I'll share it. I'll share my screen now very quickly. So come on in guys, and let's do it. So like I mentioned, this lady, that you're seeing her picture on the screen, her name is Laurel. She went for a party and just accepted a drink from uh, a friend, and later found out that she was in an unknown bed. Guys, such a very scary story, and we'll talk about it. So guys, let me share my screen now and let's get right into it. No long talk. Okay, so
I arrive at the courts, and after having my bags searched and checked, I was then taken immediately to go and view the CCTV that was collected. And I'm telling it to you that fast because that's how it felt in the moment. You also have to understand that the whole way through, up until the trial, I did not know what evidence was collected. So the fact that they even saying, you have to go and watch CCTV, I'm processing the fact that CCTV was captured. So I'm like, as I'm walking to this room, I'm going, oh, there's CCTV. There were two clips. One was 30 minutes, one was 20 minutes. And it was basically the same footage, but two different camera angles. As the footage begins, I see that there's, a few people towards the end of the night. It was 3 a.m. And you can see like guys and girls, just a few. And it was clear that it was like the cleanup crew as well, kind of thing, that was ending the night. And I am there belligerently drunk. I am there by myself, like I was like a child. That was what my mannerisms were like. I was like just all over the place. There was a point someone was walking past, I was like waving at them like a child. I also couldn't stand. I couldn't even sit properly. There was the one security guard obviously helping to stabilize me, and there was a point where he needed to attend to something, and there was like a flower bed that he basically made me sit on. And as the time was passing, you just watch me just slowly just start to go down, and my legs are lifting up at the same time, and then you watch the security guard run, put me back and sit normally. I saw myself throwing up. I saw myself spitting. My shoes were off in the rain. It was raining and my shoes were off. I was bare feet walking around on a wet floor. The suspect was in the same footage, kissing another girl. So whilst I'm here, security guard is taking care of me, he was kissing another girl. Now, in my opinion, what was going on between them looked quite romantic. She was very much involved. He was involved. And I'm looking at this footage and I'm going, what? Like, I'm just shocked, because I'm like, it's a no-brainer. Like, I'm looking and I think one of the heartbreaking things about the footage was I could see the girl glancing over at me. I saw her look over at me a couple times because I was everywhere. I was gone. The lights were on, but no one was home. And there was a point I even stood up and kind of went towards where a few people were and then came back. It was a mess. I remember seeing two women in the footage, and a point comes where they leave and I'm left with the few guys that are there. And you could tell they were trying to help me get home. But I was just given the wrong postcode because I was like gesturing for, I could see myself saying SE25 for such, so in my mind I'm like, this is a no-brainer. They can tell the lights are on, but I'm not home, like I'm not coherent, I'm giving you the wrong postcode. And I had lived at my new address for a while. So there was one of the guys that was there that actually knew me, so he knew I was giving the wrong postcode. So in my mind I'm like, everybody there then would know that I'm not there because he would have been able to say to everyone, that's not where she lives. Do you get it? So a point comes where I'm sliding down a wall, like I'm just sliding, and then I just sit in a squatted position and I just topple over on the floor in the rain. The security guard comes back, helps sit me up. They're literally holding my head up like this, and I'm like that. That's how it worked. The person that I viewed was not Lois. Then In the whole kerfuffle, I see myself lip-sync the suspect. And I looked at the footage and I was so confused. Because I went from being the perfect victim to not being the perfect victim. But all I know is I'm looking at this man that is absolutely not my type. I'm looking at a man that was previously kissing another girl, and I'm looking and I'm knowing Lois is not home. Yes, I'm kissing him, but Lois is not home. Another thing that was interesting that I observed in the footage was the suspect had my bag at some point, and it was a bag that you put like this, but I watched him put it over my head like this. Remember, I'm not allowed to lie. If someone has a bag like this, would you hand it to them? You wouldn't, right? You would give it to them in your hand and let them take it, because then they will. So for me, the fact that the suspect put the bag over my head like this, the strap, tells me that he knew I was gone. And then towards the end of the footage, I watched myself being taken away, I'm waddling, shoes off still. I'm being taken by two men to a cab. I've seen trolls in the comments saying, she was seen kissing him, Yes. I'm not running away from that. Oh, you guys thought I was going to come on here and lie. No, I was. How long do you normally lip someone, guys? Usually, 30 seconds if it's passionate or whatever. It was sloppy, it wasn't cute. And it was about 45 seconds max. Let me even exaggerate. Let's say it was a minute. What did I say at the start? The whole clip was 30 minutes. So to the trolls that are, she was seen kissing, why don't you tell everyone else what was going on in the other 29 minutes? I'm going to play a clip from another case of a woman who had ended up having sex with two men, and she obviously accused them of rape, and they were acquitted. But I want you to watch the footage. That clip was 42 seconds. 42. And I want you to just try and think, in that 42-second clip, could you conclude whether you believed she was drunk or not? Now, I want to remind you that I had 30 minutes worth of footage. I think one of the things that was a lot to process was realizing that the suspect had told me the truth about how drunk I was. I also had to watch footage of a Ring door camera that was captured the next morning from the mother's residence, and you could hear me clearly crying. You could hear you could hear it. So, yeah, it was just so sad seeing that. It was just so sad. I can't put into words how I felt. I can't put into words how I felt sitting there with two police officers just watching me. So everything I've described was within the first hour of me getting there. So you can imagine my emotions are already going through it. I've been taken from 2026 back to 2024, and when you've already experienced so much memory loss and then you're watching the footage filling the gaps for you, I can't tell you how that feels. And straight after that, I was told that the defense had asked if I had applied for compensation. But the way the police officer said it to me, she used the official term. So she was like, oh, they asked if you applied for such and such. And I was like, well, what's that? And she starts explaining it to me. Now, I didn't know compensation can be given to you if you've experienced a crime. I thought it's only if, like, you've hurt yourself at work and the company have to pay you out. I didn't know the government award people. It's like a sorry this happened to you. And so when I was told, I was like, rah, like, thank God for my integrity, because it would have been lovely to be a fly on the wall and watch them being told, no, she didn't apply for money. You know, so I'm like, oh, okay, the battlefield is fierce. There was more evidence. I've just given you the CCTV and the ring door camera footage, but the rest of it was in the cross-examination. The prosecution are the ones who started the cross-examination, and prosecution obviously is on my side, and we go through some of the footage that I told you about on the CCTV. And he first asks me what my relationship is with the suspect. He asked me what my relationship is with the girl that was with the suspect. And, you know, remember I told you there was a point I was like waving, and he asked me, like, you know, if I knew the person, things like that. And then he said, there's a point you were gesturing for, you know, what was that kind of thing? And I knew what he was doing. I knew that was his way of saying, the jury need to know that SE25 for such was not where she lives. I knew from the beginning he was trying to make the jury know that I gave the wrong postcode. That alone should tell you that if I can give the wrong postcode, giving consent shouldn't be trusted, because I don't even know my own postcode right now. You know, so he was starting off with that. So I was very much saying, that was my old postcode, this was the postcode that I had at the time. All of this is all factual information. You know, so I kind of felt a bit like, okay, cool. We've gotten some ground laid down. Yeah, and then the defense lawyer goes up. Woo! Now, if I mimic her, I'm not mocking her. It's actually just for you to understand the way I was spoken to, because wow, I was blown away, and I was left broken. That's the truth. Without you knowing her identity, of course, I think what was very painful was it was a black woman. The defense got himself a black female lawyer to defend him. And the police officer who was second in charge said it's something she sees a lot, that rapists get a female defense lawyer to go against the victim. So it started off again as very simple questions. My age, you know, my reasons for going out, those kind of things, you know. She talked about the fact that I'm a confident girl, the fact that I'm a dancer. She even said, yeah, I'm part of a show. I said, yeah, a debate show. Now, remember I told you guys I woke up next to a man I don't know? I told you guys that there was a whole group of us that said hi, so the suspect was within that group. Because he was in the mix of that quick hello, it starts to look like I'm lying about the fact that I don't know him, because I remembered the material that he wore. When I woke up in the morning after the incident, I didn't look at him and think, oh yeah, you're the guy from yeah. I'm not thinking, oh, you're the guy at the bar that I was. No, I'm just like, who are you? Where am I? What am I doing here? But obviously, by the time I've reported to the police, from reporting to the police, hearing from the ladies that were there that night, hearing from some of the people that were, you know, helping me understand what was going on. So by the time I'm in the police station and I'm saying the material they're wearing, it then can make me look like I remember the guy. And if I remember the guy, then maybe he was a significant part of my night. Oh my God. I said to them, I did not know this man's first name until I got the letter for the charges. I don't know what he does for a living. I don't know him. It was the quickest hello, and I was on the dance floor. Anyone that goes out with Lois knows Lois loves being in the middle of the dance floor. The purpose of me being there was for my friend's birthday. So, do I know this man? No, I don't know. I woke up next to a man I don't know. Don't tell me that just because there was a quick generic hi, and that I remembered the material he was wearing, that means that I know him. So obviously the jury won't know the timelines in terms of why during my interview I could mention the material. They didn't realize that it's because by then I'd known the identity of the person, you know? So she's using the material thing to be like, so why did you remember the material then? And I was just like, So I just remembered it, like, you know, and she was like, I suggest that you ran your finger down his chest. And I was like, no, actually, I can see material and just remember it just from looking at it. You know, I said, I don't need to do all of that. I don't need to put my hands down a man's chest because I'm a pretty girl. And she went, are you? I was like, yeah, I am. I am.
Guys, that was Loy's story. And before I play another clip of her,
I was just like, that man's not even my type. Like, it's not. And then she was just like, well, you know how it is when you've had a bit of drinks. You know, you might start to find someone attractive. I said, oh, so you can admit that I was drunk then? And she went, oh, not drunk, but it's more so, maybe just, you know, how much alcohol you had kind of thing by then. I was thinking, bro, this man ain't my type. Oh, stop. This is not funny, man. Oh, I'm just upset. I'm like, oh. What we ended up then talking about is when I was getting taken home to when we ended up being intimate. And remember, I don't remember anything. So many suggestions were being made. I was being told things like, you know, I suggested when you got into the cab that you said, I want to fuck you. And, you know, you're just like, bro, like, we're now going into territory that I can't even begin to explain. So now at this point, all I can say is, I don't remember. I don't remember, but it's not something I would do in my right mind. You know, that's the only argument I can have. Like saying he's not my type, he's not someone I'd go home with. I had work the next day. Do you know what I mean? Like there was no reason for me to need to stay anywhere. But these are the kind of suggestions I was being told. I was also being told that apparently we got out the cab and you know, he wanted me to get home, but I said no, I want to stay with you. I would like to stay with you. And I was just thinking, like again, it's the pain of knowing that I felt that he had completely lied. It was the pain of also feeling like you've completely blamed me. You've not even tried to make it out like you were on me in any way. You've blamed me completely. That it's me that's done this and that's done that. Now another difficult moment was the defense lawyer said that the mother came downstairs in the morning, like basically 4 a.m. when we got back from this outing, that and asked how the party was. And I was thinking, bro, what African mother is coming downstairs at 4 a.m. to say, so how is the party? You know, but the jury were all white. From what I remember seeing, they were all white. So again, now I'm thinking, oh, they're not going to know an African mum ain't coming downstairs. So all I can do is just say, no, that did not happen. I did not meet the mother until the morning and she heard me in distress. So the pain of knowing the mother probably lied, all of that, it was just like, oh my gosh. It was the cowgirl position that was the start. You were in a dominant position, meaning that you wanted it. I can't put into words how I felt hearing that. And I know I'm not crying right now, but it's just because I've cried so much. And then you went on all fours and started giving him. The most painful thing about hearing that was the fact that I purposefully do not go on all fours because it feels degrading. I felt humiliated. My body is my temple. I love my body. And hearing that was like, rah, you used your power to the most that you could. That was painful. And I remember I was like, I can't, like I was like, pause, literally I was like, pause, I was like, I need us to pause this whole thing. I was like, I went to the judge, I was like, I am so angry that I feel like I could generate electricity. I could light a city for a month. And he was just like, do you know what, it's okay, like, let's pause, let's, you know, pause for a bit, go outside. I go outside. The lady from Rape Crisis who came to support me, she was just like, oh my gosh, like she was like, that was brutal. Even the police, they were like, oh, she was harsh on you. She was harsh, and I was just like, yo, like I'm just like, oh, like, and like I could see some of his people looking at me in the lobby. So I'm like, why are you looking at me? Like I'm angry. Oh.
Guys, like I said, this video is talking about Lois's story. So I think the first part was that she went for her friend's birthday party, and in that party, while she saw this guy, they just made eye contact and she just went ahead. She kept on dancing, and then she received drinks from somebody at the party. That after she finished drinking, that was the last thing she ever remembered. Then she woke up in the morning in a different house, different environment. The place was not familiar to her, and she was in the bed of a stranger, guys. And when she observed, she started asking questions. She could not recollect anything that happened the previous night. What she could only remember was that she had gone to her friend's birthday party, and she had drunk, and that was the last thing she remembered. So she questioned the stranger, and the guy was like, yeah, we met last night and you followed me home. And he was just saying it in a way as if maybe she consented to the whole thing that happened in the night. When she looked at herself, she found out that she was no longer whole. As she had left home, she had been touched by the guy, and the guy was not even feeling sorry. He was just acting as if he was in the right and she wanted it, and that was why she followed him home. So she was upset, she was panicking, she was like, guys, after everything, she decided that she was going to file a complaint and take it legal. And that was the story which we had just watched. It was a really long one. I wanted us to get an insight of that her story. So, and I believe that you guys would have also heard the story too. So now I have some things to talk about concerning this, and most especially for us ladies, guys. Well, some men may go through one or two of that, but mostly it's ladies that go through stuff like this, and that is why when you are at a party, you should not trust anybody to accept drinks from anybody. That's the first thing. And even if you think that you can hold your alcohol, sometimes it may not necessarily be only alcohol. You might get something else in your drink, and that may knock you out. So you have to be very careful with your drink. Very, very careful. Do not leave your drink unattended to. Do not accept drinks from people you don't really know. Even with people you know, you have to really be careful. You understand? And you have to know what you put in your body. That's the first thing. And especially when you're out like that, I think you should have people or somebody looking out for you. Somebody that is expecting you. Because guys, this story of Lois, it could have gone all the way left. Let's call a spade a spade. It could have gone all the way left. What if the guy was somebody that might have, unalived her? We know that what she went through was very, very tough, very, very rough. But guys, it could have been worse. it could have been much worse. So we have to be very, very careful when we are out, hanging out with people that we call friends, meeting up with strangers. And she also put another part of the story, and I'm going to share that very soon. I'm going to share that, okay? So for us to listen, guys.
I just wanted to start off by saying the biggest thank you to you all. My eyes are really small because I have spent so much time crying. And even now, I can't indulge in the thank you too much because I won't get through this video. And I've got to try and get through it. So I wanted to say thank you, first of all. Why am I doing this now? I'm doing this because reporting to the police is already traumatic. Okay? But that wait that you do from when you give your statement to finding out if the suspect has been charged is excruciating. I spent most of the time looking at stats, and when the stats are stacked up against me, because the chances of going to court were just pretty much at zero. When I got that call to say he's been charged on 3 counts of rape, I knew instantly at that moment that I knew immediately that I'm going to want to speak to women one day about this, to try and protect women. It's not about being a hero. It's not about having a heroic story. Because let me be clear, the evidence was overwhelming. The evidence was overwhelming, and he got a not guilty verdict on the smallest technicality. When you hear it, you think you're mad? You will know mad. I was taken back to the Diddy case. Epstein files, gonna be released, they've been released, no arrests, okay. Lord, what's going on? I thought I wrestled with God after my dad died. Oh, no, that was nothing. The laws were created by criminals. So there will never really be justice. The powers that be at the top are doing the very things that we want justice from. If the laws are created to actually really criminalize men that do this, the powers that be would also be criminalized. So they protect the men down here so that they're protected at the top. And I said, Lord, what's going on? What is this? I was taken back to the start. Adam and Eve. Stay with me for a sec. Adam and Eve. Looking at the curses. Okay? Childbirth will be painful, those kind of things. Okay, you shall desire the man and he shall rule over you. Okay, and then there was this. Do you know what the word enmity means? It means a state of deep-seated hatred. Ill will towards someone, intense hostility. Isn't that what we see going on in the world? What am I trying to tell you, ladies? This thing is spiritual. Whether you know it or not, this thing is spiritual. So I'm wrestling with God. I'm going, okay, cool. You show me that scripture, okay, cool. What do we do now? Because your word says you put that there. So what's going on? Let's go back to the beginning. Adam and Eve ate the fruit. The Bible teaches that Eve was the one who was deceived. The serpent spoke to Eve and said, if you eat this fruit, you won't die. You will actually be like God. He's trying to convince you that you're not like him. They formed an alliance in the garden against God. Adam ate the fruit from disobedience. It wasn't deception. And so God put that enmity there so that an alliance is never formed between them again. It was actually to protect the idea of them ever reconciling. But on the other side of that is the spiritual warfare. So I don't know where my heart sits with that. Because it feels like what it is suggesting is that this isn't going to stop anytime soon. And I think I know that. And so I sit with a heavy heart. That's why I'm saying it's not a heroic story. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. The Bible says that when the enemy comes in like a flood, the Spirit of God will raise a standard against him. I wanted to be a part of that standard against the powers of darkness that come against women. Enough is enough. This is a battle cry. This is Sparta for me. Riding at dawn, yeah. Against the powers of evil that rule this world.
Guys, that is Lorraine again. And what she said is really true. That a lot of women, are being targeted for stuff like this. And so, we women, we have to always be on the lookout. We have to not really trust anybody. I know sometimes saying this, it will seem as if we are trying to blame the victim, or you are trying to say maybe the victim did not do enough. No, that is not what we are saying. At least for me, that is not what I'm saying, because the first person that can protect you is you yourself. So you have to be very, very protective of yourself. You don't really have to be trusting so much like that to people, especially strangers, or even people that you think you are familiar with or acquaintances with. You have to be very, very protective of yourself. So we women, we have always been taught to always take extra protection. We have always been taught, safety issues and all that. But sometimes we realize that that is not enough, because there are some people that are very sick, some sick minds, who will go to any length to take advantage, especially when women are in their vulnerable state. Just like Lois's story, she accepted that drink, and after that, she did not remember what was going on with her anymore. The CCTV camera showed that she, at some point, kissed this man, but according to her, she was too intoxicated. She was too, out of it totally to even know that that was what she was doing. So apparently, it seems that her drink was spiked. It seems her drink was spiked, and this man took advantage of her in her vulnerable state, and she later found out that she had been SA'd. She went to court and she reported it to the police and went to court. The court section was very brutal, and the guy, got a not guilty verdict on a little technicality. Because when the jury saw the CCTV cameras and all that, and with everything, the way he was trying to wriggle his way out of it, at the end of the day, he got a not guilty verdict. So it was as if justice was not really served in this case. That is why I say, because sometimes when we're talking about all these things, some people may think that we are just, trying to exaggerate, but that is not the situation, guys. As women, we need to be extra careful. We need to be extra careful. And it's not me trying to blame anybody here, blame Lauren here. No, it's not me trying to blame Lauren. It's just me, stating the obvious. You are the person that have that duty to protect yourself. So when you're in a public place or when you're on a date, you have to be very careful and ensure that everything goes smoothly. People have to know your whereabouts. People have to know your whereabouts. You have to take extra safety measures to ensure that you would come back home in one piece. So guys, this is where I will end this particular live stream. I just saw this story and I said it's like a cautionary tale for us to listen, to learn, to adjust our lifestyle, and also to be very careful. And also to be very careful, guys. I'll see you guys in another live stream. Until then, please do take care of yourself, love yourself, give this video a big thumbs up if you learned something from today's video. And I hope that when you go out, you take extra care of yourself, guys. That is the least we can do for ourselves, to protect ourselves from sick people who want to take advantage of us in our vulnerable state. So guys, do well to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell for when next I come live again. Until I see you in another one. Bye guys.